Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Saturday, December 1st, 11 p.m. Mountain Time, 2018. You're looking at the continued North American snowfall in epic proportions through the first week of December, covering over 40 states, heavy snows in the central and southern Appalachians, all the way down the Sierras. And if we just pause it over the next 48 hours, heavy snow in the eastern Canada region heads up Ontario, Iowa, on the bullseye of the snow here, and the entire Rocky Mountain front getting snow, including the Sierras. Heads up northeast, it's the beast. Split New York in the center, and everything north and east of there, snow. You've entered the effing awesome classroom. Buckle your seatbelts. I'm your host, Diamond. I have many unequaled qualities that's very unique among minerals. I'm the hardest known substance, the greatest conductor of heat on the planet, and I have the highest melting point of any known substance at 7,362 Fahrenheit. That's 4090 C to you Euros and Canadians. Diamond has the highest refractive index of any natural mineral, and my specialty, mineralogy, puts it in the isometric crystal system, typically forming octahedra. And that's tonight's first boom, Diamond style. You asked for it, you got it. Let's get on with the update. Snow piling up in southern Minnesota as Saturday's storm continues. 5 inches in Waterville, 3.2 in Egan. Bloomington, 3.0. Albert Lee, that's a city, 3.0. That's inches. Early Saturday afternoon, a heavy band of snow rolled through the Twin Cities metro area. Some areas like Burnsville reported over 2 inches. The area is not done with snow yet, however, because according to the GFS model, it's going to continue forever and ever and ever. Whew. Knowledge boom. You've entered the boom room, and it's filled with snow. Ho, ho, ho. With snow coming, December's first storm already setting records. Hastings, Nebraska. With snow on the way, the first storm of December has already broken precipitation records. Now, these are records associated with precipitation, which is the Emancipation Proclamation of my situation. But I won't get into that. The National Weather Service in Hastings reports record rainfall for Grand Islands and Hastings, with more snow and rain on the way. Hey, the records will be updated as the day goes on. You'll get links below to all of these items. Grand Island received the most rainfall of 6 a.m. at 1.87 inches. And if that were snow, that would blow. And that's a boom. You've entered the boom room, and we have white screens for days. But we will show you GFS models because they're fun to look at. Sioux Falls winter storm. Snow totals drop below earlier forecasts. And those snows still drop anyway. Sioux Falls is bracing for a winter storm expected to bring significant snow to surrounding areas, as well as high winds. Although these snow totals are now trending downward as the day goes on, they still exceed a foot in many areas, but average 10 inches. Center, Jackson, Windham. Snow will be continuing light to moderate snow. It will begin to taper off right now while I'm speaking, lingering long into the east. Accumulations are still expected, although the highest snow totals have decreased. How much snow is expected and when? You come check it out. Because all the links are below. Check it out. You can snowboard on an inch of snow with grass still showing in your jeans. It's a fact. And that's a boom. Parts of New England and New York have seen an historically snowy November. Whew. Much of New York and the northern half of New England have seen an extremely snowy start to the winter. Ski areas are ecstatic, though many wonder whether this is the start of an extra harsh winter. With Al Gore nowhere to be found, and small portions of the mainstream predicting a grand solar minimum, the sheep are unaware of what to think. The facts tend to get in the way. Snowfall totals across New York and New England have surpassed 1 to 2 feet in many areas, while some places in ski country and the snow belts off the Great Lakes are pushing 3 to 4 feet or more. Al Gore! I didn't say it. See, I'm trying to reform my ways. I can't say the same for you. You fucking prick. This record and near record November snowfall has been caused by the same general weather pattern that led to the record rainfall in parts of the mid-Atlantic into the New England basin. Basically, it's called the grand solar minimum, where you get meridional flow and a chaotic jet stream, which is not being reported by the lame stream. In addition to a stream of coastal storms this cold season, the sun is going to continue to shut down for at least another year and a half. And cycle 25 may be a fright. There have now been 8 significant low pressure systems, and it's only the beginning. Winter is still weeks away. Hey. I got 8 sub 1,005 millibar storms in the past 4 weeks impacting the lower 48. That is nor'easter after nor'easter after nor'easter after beaster. November snow certainly is not uncommon in New England and much of New York State, but after many alarmists have predicted that our children would never see snow, this is unprecedented. And people's eyebrows are raising up a little bit on the left side. They cannot hide. Take Burlington, Vermont. A normal November might deliver 5.1 inches of snow. This year, they've had 19.5 inches. That's 4 times, just about. Many of the people in that state are showing a pout. All of that snow has fallen since mid-month. And that means it's only been 2 weeks. It now ranks as the 5th snowiest on record there and the snowiest since 2002. Hoo-hoo. The top mark for the month is 24 inches back in 1900. And we almost crushed it. That is back in the centennial minimum. And as we descend into the eddy minimum, I predict Vermont will be breaking that 24-inch record next November. Mark my words. With a boom. And it's not a doom boom of gloom, but you should have 8 extra cords of wood, a wood-burning stove, and 3 years of dry food storage, as well as board games and other cool shit to do. Because when the infrastructure fails and you're left alone in the woods, you'll be pimping. It's a similar story in Caribou, Maine, the town in the northern part of the state, averaging 11.5 inches in November. This month it has seen just about 30 inches, tripling the average and ranking it as the 3rd snowiest November on record up in Caribou, Maine. If these kinds of totals are not snowy enough, the powder is always deeper in the mountains. Mount Washington in New Hampshire holds the title for the most snow recorded. The 60.5 inches they have recorded is the 8th most on record for the month. Mount Washington has 5 feet of snow in November. Ow! Get in your well, you prick. This is sick. Look at Mount Mansfield snow depths, peaking above all record lines. The snow stake at Mount Mansfield in northern Vermont is another high-quality long-term source for snow data, with 46 inches on the ground there at last report. We told you this last night. It has the most on record this early in the season in ever. That means forever and ever and ever. That means before global warming, and then before that, and before your grandfather lived, and before your grandmother lived, and before them. Before all that. Right now is the most. But did you see how it's getting hotter in November in some headlines? Jay Peak Resort in Vermont writes, November never looked so good. As it should. Man, that looks fantastic. Over at the American Weather Forums, an online gathering spot for weather enthusiasts, they're talking about the total shite that global warming is. Yes. Documenting the prodigious snow amounts from Burke to Smuggler's Notch and Bolton Valley to Sunday River. All of these areas received at least 8 inches from the storm that came through this week. The seasonal totals are equally incredible, among the highest numbers ever. Smuggler's Notch in Vermont recorded 86 inches to date. Bolton Valley logged in 84 inches, and Jay Peak has 6 feet. Bury Al Gore in that. Contemplating whether a lot of snow early tends to lead to a big winter. Diamond says you must be an idiot. Whew. I don't know what that means. But November never looked so good at Sunday River. Best season on record. National Weather Service, Weather Ready Nation map. Winter storm continues to impact the Central Plains into the Great Lakes. Severe weather shifts in the south. The major storm continues to impact the central U.S. In fact, 23 states showing winter storm warnings or advisories currently over the next 24 hours. Half of the continent under winter storm warnings or advisories. 2 weeks out from winter. 3 weeks, actually. Sorry, I didn't know we were that far away from winter. It appears to be winter right now, but... Accumulating snow, mixed precipitation, and gusty winds will lead to poor travel conditions in many of these states. A few severe thunderstorms will be possible from Georgia in the south, where the red dots are, and they'll be all flooded out before they freeze their asses off and more iguanas fall from trees next week. Mark my words. GFS models showing epic snow dumping everywhere. Come check out the links below. I will leave it for you where it says GFS Total Snowfall Model, North America. Because that's what it is. So typically that's, wow, 28 inches showing up there in West Virginia. Heads up, Governor. The totals look epic. Hey, the climate guy, Chris Martz, it's coming your way. Stay tuned. There's a D-bag on the internet that's pretending to be Chris Martz and bad-mouthing him at the same time. And this is an adult. So we'll get to that. Let's check out the GFS models over in Europe. Heavy snows in Norway burying the country. Holy shit. 4 or 5 feet of snow predicted through December 9th. Heavy snow up to 3 to 4 feet, maybe 5 to 10 in some places in the Alps. And Turkey in the eastern side getting buried. That ain't no schmirky, Turkey. Hey, UK. You're going to get yours. Big up to the Queen Mother. Don't get your knickers in a bunch. But we've got new data coming in, so we're going to wait for it. Again, look at the heavy snow pile up in Norway. Then hit the UK. Alps are already buried. Turkey is building, and all of Siberia is now absolutely getting buried for the entire region. The entire region is buried in Russia. Before winter starts at the solstice, Russia will be under feet of snow that will not go until next summer. It won't be a bummer, but it will be a record year. Holy macaroni. Let's check it out. Your totals through December 12th. Heavy snow in the Alps, heavy snow in the Baltics, heavy snow in Eastern Europe, heavy snow in Norway, and we have some heavy totals in northern UK. We'll be keeping a close eye on it. I know it's winter for you up in the UK already. Okay, Steady Eddie, excess winter deaths in England and Wales, highest since 1976. Whoa, that's the bicentennial. Illuminati much? Call for more NHS resources as elderly people and women among the most vulnerable. As predicted, I predicted people in Florida will freeze to death on their porches in the years to come. And I'm no bum. I'm a scientist, and I'm using facts and historical information to predict what will occur. Excess winter deaths in England and Wales, highest since 1976. There were 50,100 excess deaths in England and Wales last winter. That is a lot of people. 50,100 extra deaths in England. I'm about to totally go all North Manchester on this article. Now, 50,100 excess deaths in England, in Wales last winter is totally crazy. I got my knickers in a bunch when there was a prolonged spell of extreme cold. Where were the warm-hearted people on the streets taking in the homeless? Where were they? Well, this made it the highest number of excess deaths since America's bicentennial. And that's before most of you were even masturbating, for all intents and purposes. Now, the Office for the National Statistics said flu and the ineffectiveness of the flu vaccine. Well, if you thought a vaccine was effective, where you're injecting the actual shite right into your arm, then you must be bonkers. And they're claiming that the ineffectiveness of the disease-ridden injection is the reason for the rise of deaths. I would say it's probably directly related to the deaths, injecting the death into you directly. Wouldn't you? Now, these deaths occurred during the NHS's most serious winter crisis. For many years, yes, it was. And a lack of staff. Remember the beast from the east? Yes, remember it? It was quite a show. And a lack of staff and beds meant everyone slept in sheds. Yes, and then they lost their heads. And then they were all dead. 50,100 in excess. Thank you, Queen Mother. Thank you, England, for protecting your citizens of Wales last winter when the shit hit the fan. That should be a ban. And and boom. Not a doom boom. Those are facts in your face, and you're disgraced if you call me anything less than the master blaster of disaster. Women and people aged over 85 are amongst those most likely to die last winter. Although the rate of winter deaths among males aged up to 64 doubled in just a year, the ONS found a third of the deaths were due to serious breathing difficulties, including flu, asthma, bronchitis. Yes, and in the infamous words of Tom Swift, I'm just going to light another cigarette and add to my emphysema. Nick Stripe, a specialist in health analysis and life events at the ONS, said it is likely that the last winter's increase was due to a predominant strain of flu called the fuck you. Who knew? And that's a boom. We're about to stick our foot up someone's ass in just a moment. Warning, 400-year-long ice age coming. Coming as soon as 2020. Then we're going to use this picture that was used back in 2012. You can come check out the disclosed TV article, but they're a little late. But they did use our video, so we love them for that. True News, don't watch this. It's a total piece of crap. Come check out the Zarkova article. But these guys on this Republican farce of a channel, True News, are the biggest embarrassment to exposing the grand solar minimum to the entire community. There are three idiots talking about shit that they have no business talking about. It's just an embarrassment. If you want to go see them embarrass themselves, watch these three old farts in 8-piece suits talk about nonsense, because they're full of shit. While they're trying to tell us the truth, they actually embarrass themselves and embarrass the community. So if you like True News, please unsubscribe to my channel, because they're nothing but a propaganda machine like Fox, which can also suck my cocks. I would really like to tell you how I really feel, but we'll leave that for another video. Alaska hit by more than 230 small earthquakes since Friday, which is normal for aftershocks after a 7 magnitude like they had. So that's nothing to report on. Other people are reporting some incredible seismic event happening worldwide, which is not happening. They're fearmongers. They like more subscribers, they like more money, they like more donations, and they like more people to be scared so that they're waiting at the tips of their toes for more information. They should be embarrassed by their actions. This includes many of the people that you watch. And stop telling me to have a meeting with Dutch Since. He doesn't talk to anyone because he's a fucking fraud. All he wants is your money. That's why he has $80,000 annual fundraisers, so that he doesn't have to fucking work and he can pretend that he's helping you. How stupid are you people? 6.3, Sumalaki, Indonesia. If you know how to get to USGS, you can find out that there is a 6.0 every 4 weeks here. Oh my God. And Dutch Sense nails it. He nails it every time. Boom! Guy's awesome. He's got arrows on his map, and he takes you around the world. Just like earthquakes have been migrating for decades. Moderate earthquakes are not only predictable, but they're predictable. God. Worldwide volcano news update. Sakurajima erupted. Fuego, Dukono, Bagana to the list. Smoke plume and steam. And Kadivar. We talked about that months ago. On the uptick. Krakatoa, say it ain't soa. We have some amazing footage to share with you. This is footage from Volcano Discovery. Over the past week, they have many special clients that have gotten excellent footage of the ongoing eruption there. Strombolian eruption there. Boom! And no, global warming isn't causing these volcanoes to go off. But what is causing these volcanoes to go off is the sun shutting down. As the sun shuts down, our magnetosphere follows suit. That allows more cosmic rays to infiltrate. And those cosmic rays heat the muons in the subsurface, leading to dangerous, silicious, rich volcanoes like the cinder cone called Krakatoa to blow up. Excellent footage over here. Come check it out. We don't want to waste our time. Get on with the update. You can look at it yourselves. Give a thumbs up. These people deserve more than 12,000 subscribers. Tell them the Oppenheimer Ranch Project supports them 100% and wants to spread their message of the truth of the volcanic discovery that we are experiencing before our very lives. Now, we have many more interesting things to cover, including a newly discovered asteroid that is making a very close buzz by Earth right now as we are live. It is passing by Earth in the satellite area. But before we get to that, let's talk about the scientists, the twins, and the experiment that genetics say went too far. I'm sure you've heard over the last week about scientists that have genetically engineered using CRISPR children that were born alive. And now we have walking on the Earth humans that were created using CRISPR. Now, why this is dangerous is because CRISPR can create hundreds, if not thousands, of point site mutations in the genetic code. So that while they do what the CRISPR effect is designed to do by either blocking or replacing a protein sequence, in this case a whole gene, which prevented these, I don't even want to call them humans, unfortunately, from contracting the HIV virus. They are not humans. These are genetically modified humans, which does not make them humans. Humans are natural hominid biological entities, and these are unnatural. So the first two aliens on the planet created by humans are alive today because of this D-bag and their Frankenstein science. Now, in a YouTube post, a video posted on YouTube just a few days ago, Chinese scientist He Jiankui announced that he's the biggest asshole on the planet. And guess what? He's missing. Yes. Yes. He, a professor at the Southern University of Science and Technology in Seishan, said he was proud of his work. But it was evident that he had not fully considered the potential long-term societal effects of the twin girls. Yeah, like they may mutate into God knows what, or die spontaneously from horrible deaths because of the mutations in their genetics that this asshole did not consider. When one of the audience members at the summit the other day asked whether he had thought about how the girls would see themselves and how they would be treated by society, he replied, "I don't know how to answer that question." This is bad news, kids. I don't even know where to go with this. But you cannot genetically modify humans and release them into the population without horrific results. As a scientist, this is the worst thing that has ever happened on our planet. And at the same time, I thought that the worst thing that ever happened on our planet was genetically modified trees that create their own pesticides. Because those genetics and that pollen is now blowing around the earth. And what we're doing as crazy Frankenstein geneticists that are not using the precautionary principle is destroying life as we know it that has existed for billions of years. This could literally wreak havoc with the genome and create mutations unheard of. Now, there are many mythologies that say this has happened in the past and the gene will correct itself. But the implications for the short term are horrific, where we're talking about viruses and diseases that are completely unprecedented because of this genetic fiddling. So, Mr. He, I hope they execute you because you are a total jackass and you're not a scientist. You are a rogue terrorist, and you need to be dealt with. So go hide in a hole, because you are an absolute scourge on humanity. NASA asteroid warning, giant 90-foot space rock headed to Earth today. A rogue asteroid with the potential to destroy life was just discovered 24 hours ago. This deadly asteroid, larger than a 2-story house, has been named NASA as Asteroid 2018 WN. The winning number, apparently. The enormous space rock is expected to skim past Earth right now as I bloviate. And thanks to Dabu7, we have the footage.
It's going to make a close approach to Earth here within the next 24 hours or so. It's going to come very, very close to Earth. And the path of this thing, you can see here, here's Earth, here's the moon as it's going in position, and here's the path of this object. It's going to come in on this side, and what's interesting is once it gets inside the loop of the moon, it decides it wants to cut over and then pass on the other side of Earth.
Yeah, so as he said, watch the trajectory, watch the flyby. It's going to go right into the zone where all of our near-Earth orbiting satellites are and other objects. It could perturb something, so the skies could be lighting up tonight because of 2018 WV1, or it could hit the Earth, and finally it would all be done. And that would be a boom. That would be a soon boom. It'd be happening right now while I'm talking and while you're walking. So for the first time ever, I'm going to say to come over to Dabu7, give him a thumbs up, and subscribe to his channel. And that's a boom. Not a doom boom, a science boom, a boom of knowledge. "32 minutes in. It's not a sin, but what is a sin? A couple things coming up here, real quick. Let's talk about
hey everybody,
Prepper Nurse 1. Prepper Nurse 1 did a great video today where he shouts Oppenheimer Ranch Project out multiple times. He gets the global warming stamp onto this video because he titled it Climate Change. Are we getting colder? If we are, what does that mean to you? And he recommends you come over to our channel and check him out. Check out what we're telling people to survive and thrive in the future. This guy is the real deal. Awesome guy. I bought him a lawnmower this summer because he needed a new one, and that was a bummer. And it made his day. And to make his day, you going over there, if you haven't subscribed to Prepper Nurse 1, would make his day. He's got 51 subs, more than us. It doesn't matter. It's not a competition. We're all in this together. Come subscribe to Prepper Nurse. Give him a thumbs up. Tell him we sent him over here. Tell him thank you for shouting out Oppenheimer Ranch Project, and watch the video. It's pretty awesome. He increased his garden this year maybe 3 times from last year. He harvested hundreds of pickles, did his own fermentation. He brings his mom in and the old ladies with the old knowledge. This guy is awesome. If you want to know about homesteading, real school style, check out Prepper Nurse. He's a really good dude. Can't recommend him enough. San Juan Record, can't unrecommend this rag enough. They went to the all-time high, defaming the event, Witness in the Desert, even more than the Navajo Times did. The San Juan Record, you are now on record as being a defamatory rag of discontent. You're a complete piece of shite. You don't even know how. Whoever wrote this rag, let's go check it. They don't even put their name on it. Frauds. There's not even an author for the lies that lay within here, but they even have the balls. Hey, San Juan Record, you can suck it, because we're going to send 5,000 people to call you. So if you can find the number come over and find out, how to contact these jackasses over at the San Juan Record, and you can please call them, leave a message, tell them to suck it, Oppenheimer Ranch style. Because they are not scientists, they're not even reporters. This isn't even media. This is a complete pile of garbage. It's a fairy tale. The entire article where they call me out Oppenheimer Ranch Project with Rex Bear and other groups as being part of the occult. You know who's part of the occult? San Juan Record. You're going to get it. Please, if you're listening to this video, contact the San Juan Record and tell them to suck it. Tell them that they're not a newspaper, that you're never going to subscribe to them. You're going to recommend that no one ever buys their piece of shit and they only wipe their ass with this so-called newspaper. No one is ever subscribing or renewing to this rag after this farce. You're a piece of shit, San Juan Record, and you know it. And whoever wrote this article was such a fraud, they didn't even put their name on it. How can you even claim it as an article if it doesn't have an author? Some more nonsense going on today. It must be the KP index. An adult has taken the time to defame a youngster in our community, the climate guy, Chris Martz, where he set up his own Facebook page called the Climate/Guy Child. And this scumbag, not one single person has liked his page, but he's gone on all of my media platforms to defame Lee Wheelbarger and Chris Martz in ways that we all need to stand up and destroy this prick. This prick, just a half an hour ago, actually chatted with me because I sent him a message. I said, holy shit, what a lonely asshole you must be. I hope you die a horrible death, alone as you are now. That was my message to him, and he got back to me in 1 second. He said, the little prick is going down. And I replied, I said, no, you are, because you are the prick. Who is this, Tim Mann? And I think that someone in the hockey stick community, certainly the global warming dogma community, has stooped to these levels. No one in our community does anything like this. These are global warmists. They are terrorists. They are the scum of the earth, and they must be dealt with. Each and every one of you that is listening to my voice needs to come to this page, which will be linked below. See these 3 dots? Click on them. And then go to the bottom here where it says give feedback or report this page. 3 dots, report the page. I need all of you to do this. If we have 10,000 views on this by tomorrow, I hope 5,000 of you do this. Click on fraud or scam, and then click on fake page, and then send it. Please, if you've ever not done one thing, I don't want you to donate $1 to me. I want you to shut this schmuck down now. And if that happens by tomorrow, that's all I ever have asked for in my entire life. We need to shut this guy down. Let's do it now. I just showed you how. If you don't remember, rewind the video. Now let's talk about Mystery Valley, Cayenta, Arizona. Ancestral Puebloan ruins, natural arches, box canyons abound in this seldom visited corner of Monument Valley. Now the reason I had to visit this seldom visited corner is because the tribal park was shut down and I was not allowed to go in. Even though I paid my entry fee, which they kept, I was not allowed to go in. Even though I had paid my hotel stay, I was not allowed to stay. Even though I was willing to spend thousands of dollars in the gift shop, they never got a penny because I was not allowed to stay. Even though I was willing to give every single Navajo anything that they ever asked me for, I wasn't allowed to stay, so that never happened. So they got what they wanted, which was negative publicity, the likes of which they could not imagine. And the few people that support what they did is about like enough to count on my left hand. Because every single group that I've ever worked with in the native community understands exactly where Oppenheimer Ranch is coming from. Our property is adjacent to the Ute Reservation on purpose so that we could bond with the natives, so that we could be connected with their land. Now, unfortunately, on the one side of our property, we're connected to the federal government, and they can suck it because they don't know how to act. I'm sure you've heard of the mafia. There's no difference. Income tax, etc. It's all strong-arm bullying developed by a cabal of assholes that claim to run the world. They are running the world into the ground. They have destroyed your consciousness, our society, and our way of life. And we continue to bow down to these pricks every single fucking day. Now, thankfully, from my scientific endeavors and what I've uncovered, our hope is in the cosmic nature of our existence. And the Vedas tell us that this will soon end naturally. And we will enter a golden age once again, but that's not happening for around 10,000 more years. And in that time, it's going to get very bad. But there are things that we can uncover. And while exploring Mystery Valley, one cannot help but feel the immense amount of time that has shaped it. It's a cosmic place of strange red rock formations that, for a scattering of desert plants, often resembles the Martian landscape. Yeah, and many of us think that they may be filming the Martian landing there. Absolutely a beautiful, mysterious place. Far from where we were kicked out over here. But around 500 years ago, the Diné moved into this area here. This is where the Anasazi and the Puebloans vacated about 500 years ago. Once home to the ancestral Puebloans from 100 BC to 1300 CE, around 500 years ago, after the ancestral Puebloans departed from the area, which they referred to, the locals, as the Ancient Ones, leaving empty settlements and everyday items behind, the Diné, or Navajo, descended from the northwest Canada and settled in the Mystery Valley and much of the surrounding territory, where they sold out to the feds and they act like normal white people, bullying everybody. Now, to this day, Mystery Valley belongs to the Diné. And the people that I associate with would never work for the federal government because they're trying to protect their ancient heritage. And the federal government murdered all of their ancestors, so why would they sell out to those scumbags? Now, before you go, the Diné consider this valley to be sacred, so you must not desecrate it. You must protect it. And my whole purpose is to protect the culture, the petroglyphs, the ancient language, and the knowledge by cataloging it, because it is being destroyed before your very lives from weather, looters, and the federal government, who's fracking it, mining it, and undermining it before your very lives, under the guise of safety. I just want to thank our 2 indigenous Diné guides who lived in the valley, and their families have lived there for 1,500 years. And every single home we drove by was either an aunt, an uncle, a sister, or a relative. Because they knew in their hearts that all we wanted to do was preserve this information, time immemorial, for the benefit of all humanity, because they felt that it was purposefully being destroyed. Another sneak peek before the big video comes out, and you'll understand why this area is so important.
So we're at the White House? White Horse?
White Horse. I mean White House.
White House. We're at the White House. And not the one that we hate. The one that we love. Would you just look at it? These are the ancient ones. Absolutely.
Supposed to hang.
Soak it in. I have hundreds of more pictures like this that I'll release tomorrow in the video of the Mystery Valley excursion. Guys, I hope you got something out of the video. It is my mission to feed you knowledge. Knowledge to save you in the coming times, and knowledge to reprogram you from the brainwashing that you have suffered. It is never too late to relearn the truth. It will set you free. We love each and every one of you. Be safe.